Hey guys, in this video I'll quickly show you how to create an S3 bucket both through a command line interface and a web interface. As always, we start in our AWS console. Here we can check our region. Generally, it's a good habit to know which region you're in because very often resources are tied to a specific region so that you don't accidentally create resources in a region that is really far away from you. Now we go to our search bar, type in S3, choose S3. No buckets so far, we just click create bucket, enter the bucket name, use dashes instead of underscores. Note the region I have here, Frankfurt, so the bucket will be created and tied to Frankfurt. We'll skip all the fancy steps for now, but it allows you to do lots of cool stuff like versioning, accessing logs, adding tags, lots of cool stuff, but for now, for simplistic example, we just skip it, leave the defaults as they are, and proceed to the very end of the process. That's a summary of a bucket, create bucket. There you go, your very first S3 bucket. Now we'll do the same thing through the command line interface. It's our usual AWS command. Then we go for the S3 API, which is an API for S3. Then a create bucket command. You give your bucket a name. We'll call it my very second S3 bucket. Then you specify a location. So for me, it's Frankfurt, so EU Central 1. But then there is this weird configuration that for regions outside of US East 1, buckets require the appropriate location constraint to be specified in order to create the bucket in the desired region. So here I'm specifying this location constraint and again set it to EU Central 1. It's a bit frustrating, but it does the job. So we now created our second bucket through the command line interface, and if we go back to the web interface, we can find it, in the console, so in the Amazon console, so you could see it both ways. Now if we go back to command line interface, we can list our buckets with AWS S3 now. It's not an API, it's like command S3 ls, and now we can see the same two buckets we can see through the web interface. Now you can see even though we created our two buckets without specifying any additional options, they are different. The first bucket is not public, the second bucket can have public objects. It's just, again, S3 is very simple, but there are like many things you can adjust, many options. So it's worth exploring on your own even further. But this is a very simplistic tutorial on how to just create buckets with a default. Take care.